You ready, Gloria? Welcome, everyone, to this evening's council meeting of October 22nd, 2024. We always begin our council meetings with our land acknowledgement. The municipality of Tweed recognizes that our work takes place on traditional Indigenous territories, including the Huron-Wendat, the Anishinaabe, and the Haudenosaunee peoples. We recognize and respect the history, languages, and cultures of the First Nations, Métis, Inuit, and all Indigenous peoples, whose presence continues to enrich our communities. Miigwech. Could I have a mover and a seconder for the approval of our regular? Canada. Jeez.
It's only the 2 years.
That's right.
With glory, lights we see the rise, a tree of strong and green. On fall, stand on God for stand on God.
Thank you, everyone. Could I have a mover and a seconder for the approval of our regular council meeting? Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Demarche. Be it resolved that the agenda for the October 22nd, 2024 regular council meeting be approved as presented. All in favor? Thank you. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest? Seeing none. Could I have a mover and a second?
We have to read the
The
clause from last
That's
time.
right. I'm sorry. Could you read? I don't have it here. Sorry.
At the closed meeting on October 8th, 2024, Deputy Mayor Demarche declared a pecuniary interest regarding personal matter about an identifiable individual due to a working relationship with the identifiable individual.
Thank you. Could I have a mover and a seconder for the adoption of the minutes from October 8th, 2024, please? Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Any comments on said minutes? Excuse me. Seeing none, be it resolved that the minutes of October 8th, 2024 regular council meeting be adopted as presented. All in favor? Thank you. Well, there's a notification of a closed meeting. Council will hold a closed meeting during the regular council meeting pursuant to section 2392 of the Municipal Act 2001 SO 2001 C25 as amended to consider the following matters. D, labor relations or employee negotiations. Mayor's remarks. Today, I would like to thank our Legion for the beautiful banners commemorating some of our local war heroes. Thank you, Pat Thomas and Jennifer Hodge, for bringing this amazing program to our municipality. And another congratulations is due. Deputy Mayor Demarche, would you like to share?
Yes. Through the mayor yesterday, I received a call from Chief Inspector Wilhelm from the OPP East Region headquarters. And as you all know, I participated in the interview process for the new detachment commander, staff sergeant to replace Jim Locke. And I was informed yesterday that Sergeant Sean Trudeau was successful in that position, and so he will be taking over that detachment within the next 2 weeks. And Sean's a local guy and has a passion for the community, and I think he will serve all of our communities very well, and we're happy to have him.
Oh, thank you very much, Deputy Mayor Marsh, and congratulations, Sean. Welcome to the team. On October 9th, I attended the Hastings County Community and Human Services Committee meeting. I then participated in the inaugural meeting of the Hastings County Economic Development Committee. This committee is charged with looking at the unique characteristics of our county and how we can capitalize on what sets us apart from the rest. We started with a situation analysis where we looked at our challenges, opportunities, strengths, and weaknesses. This committee will meet monthly, crafting a report which will be tabled in the spring. That afternoon, Councillor Valiquette and I attended the Gateway Community Health Center open house. On the 10th, I dealt with some municipal personnel matters. On October 15th, I chaired the County Planning and Economic Development Committee. I then crinkle. I then attended the County Finance, Personnel, and Property meeting. That morning, we also had a special Hastings County meeting where we agreed to provide a letter of support for the Homelessness and Addiction Recovery Treatment Heart Hub for the Hastings County area, with the majority of funds going to the developmental facility in Belleville. On the 16th, I joined fellow Kiwanians for the winterizing and closure of the pavilion. At noon, I chaired the Belleville General Hospital Foundation Finance Committee. Later that day, I attended a CHSN transit update meetings with Mayors Mullen, DeLine, Blackburn, and O'Neill. Also in attendance were a number of CAOs. Again, we are waiting to see what the CHSN board is proposing before we take any further action. On the 17th, all of council attended a special closed meeting. That afternoon, I met with Wayne Spicer, chair of the Fair Board. That evening, I attended a Kiwanis meeting. On October 21st, I met with a developer. I would like to draw your attention to the article in the High Frequency Rail Initiative found within our report. Strangely, there has been no communication with the municipal office on the initiative, which appears to be still in the planning stages. In the beginning, they were in regular communication with the municipality, especially since we were slated to be one of the stops on the new route. However, we've heard nothing in the last 4 years. I'm sure that this project will never see the light of day. It would be another financial boondoggle. In today's Tweed News, there was a letter to the editor re the recent awarding of the fuel tender to a business that is located outside of our community. Why do we issue tenders? We issue tenders so that we can get the best bang for your buck. As everyone is aware, current tax dollars are insufficient to cover existing operations. Fuel has been a very large expense, and so it was agreed that we would see if we could get those costs reduced. The decision to award a tender is typically based on best price, but there are exceptions. Criteria that definitely influences the awarding of a tender include awarding points for local preference is discriminatory as identified in new trade agreements, as well as the 2017 Canada Free Trade Agreement. This was confirmed further in the province's Bill 13A Supply Chain Management Act, which was passed in March 2020. To break this law would result in conviction. Secondly, the previous council's procurement policy for 2020 specified that we cannot consider non-compliant bids, and non-compliance is defined in Schedule B, specifically including bid irregularities as missing bid items, information, and documentation. This policy was in place at the time of the tender opening and therefore guide the review process. Furthermore, this policy was recently updated and approved by this council. To contravene this policy would result in a lawsuit by the compliant winner. Once bids are opened, we cannot reach out to a bidder and ask them to resubmit, as this would jeopardize the bidding process and is considered illegal. We are cognizant of the contributions that local businesses make to our community, and that is why we are always looking to support our small businesses whenever we can. It looks like Premier Ford is getting ready for an early election. The Conservative government is considering providing all Ontarians with a $200 vote-buying check. It would appear that we will all be getting this financial inducement regardless of our income, rather than redirecting the funds to those that need it the most. Also, this $3.2 billion initiative will be funded by borrowed dollars. So rather than helping your municipality by providing us with badly needed funds to pay for our deteriorating infrastructure, he will give you money directly so that he looks good at our expense because we will have to raise taxes to cover his shortfalls. The story goes like this. This provincial government cancels the vehicle registration fee, which removes 1 billion to help municipalities with their infrastructure. They look good because they have your best interests at heart. We look bad because we now have to get those dollars from you. Secondly, this government gives the OPP the raises they want because they don't have to pay for it. They look good because they have a happy police force. We look bad because we have to raise your taxes 4.1% just to cover their increase. 4.1 just for that increase. Gives Toronto 500 million per year for 3 years to help with their operating deficit. An operating deficit, meaning they do not have, they're short 500 million for their operations. We look bad because our pleas for a little assistance fall on deaf ears, and so we have to raise your taxes. Repatriates the Don Valley and Gardner Expressways, infrastructure initiatives, so they look great in the eyes of the mega voting GTA, and at a cost of $7.5 billion to the rest of Ontario. We look bad because all our applications that we submit under this government's funding program are denied. So we have to raise your taxes. He agrees to pay for the construction of the Ontario Place Spa parking garage at a cost of approximately $800 million. Nothing like supporting private business with your tax dollars. We look bad because we have to raise your taxes to pay for the bridges so that you can be safe. Provides every resident in Ontario with a $200 check, so they look really good. We look bad because we have to raise the taxes when that $3.2 billion would go a long way to help your municipalities and other municipalities deal with their infrastructure dilemmas. As Mayor Jan O'Neill stated the other day, the goal of this government is to starve us to death. And I couldn't agree more. And happy Halloween. Okay. On to delegations. We have an amazing delegation here today of 3 amazing individuals. We have Pat Thomas, we have Jennifer, and we have Ken Gorman, and they are going to, we're gonna do the video after you're gonna introduce it, right?
Is Rob gonna be here?
No, he can't be here.
Okay, but you've got the video.
We got the video. Okay, I'm just going to do, what we're going to do first is we're going to pin the poppies. And then we're going to turn it over to our friends. And Pat is going to talk to the banners that we have and identify who all of these individuals are. And then I've also asked Pat to introduce a video that I had I think you were there as well, Councillor Valley had the honor. Were we all there? Okay, thank you everyone for being there. I wanted to show it here so that the public can see this video that was created by Brock Kirby and Brock Kirby. And Pat's going to talk to that as well, introduce it. So let's do our pins first, then we'll do a photo. And then Pat, you will come up to the podium and you'll do the rest, okay? So we're going to do it out here in the front.
Oh,
So
okay.
everybody can see us on the camera.
Okay.
More plastic, one right over there. What's that? Got some more plastic you want to write it? Yeah, Neither is your.
Yeah, sorry, right here. And that's the camera there, Ken. Okay.
I'm always rattling something.
Yeah. That, you know that.
These have got the black centers so they won't fall off.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. We can't wear them until Friday.
That's what I was gonna ask that. Is there a protocol about when, so?
Yes,
Okay.
the Governor General received. Oh. Thank you. So you're getting yours now, but we can't wait until Friday. That's the official date.
So we should wait until Friday as well.
No, not really.
Okay. And so that day is what?
Friday the 25th of
So
October.
that's what it, always the 25th? Can you tell everybody what your secret name?
Yes, you can. You're welcome.
That's.
And do you want to give that to Dawn and tell him what it's for?
Yes, Don, this is for your here. Oh, sweet. Oh, stick it in your- oh, it's
Yes,
suction
the
cup.
window, yes.
Oh, okay, okay, great. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Let's get a big photo with all of us, okay?
Okay.
That's cool. You right here? Yeah, how about you come right up here? Right up here beside me. Jim really likes to get them fun. Who's on? Jim.
Okay.
Great, thank you. Okay.
Yes. Okay. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Pat Thomas. And I've been involved with the Legion since I came to Tweed in 1985. And for years now, it's always something that I wanted to do was to get the banners in Tweed. And so in June this year, Jennifer and I met with Fred and Sue Bendel from the Madoc BIT. And they gave us all the information needed to get the banner program going. So because it was short notice and all the details had to be over to Hanover by August the 5th, we were hoping to get 10 banners made. And when we approached the families, they were just amazing. So the project just flowed, didn't it? It was amazing. And so the photos were sent over to Madoc, to Brock Kirby, who enhanced the photos ready to go on the banners. And he actually sent them over to Hanover to Chris, who was going to get the banners made. And then we had the reception in Madoc on September the 9th. And thank you all for being there. It was a very emotional night. The banners were hung low enough so the families could have their pictures taken with their veteran. And we are already receiving, I think we've got 9 now. And I know you've only got 18 brackets in Tweed. So we're going to need more brackets. And we're going to need more lampposts. And I've been looking, and some of the lampposts can actually have brackets put on. And maybe I'll talk to you one day because somebody told me that your nephew, is it, or son, does welding or whatever, or makes things.
You are?
Does he make brackets?
Troy.
Troy.
He can make the frames, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, to hang the banners on.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. I'll talk to you one day.
Should I be clear on that one?
No, right now, she's just asking you a
I'm just
question.
asking you. Yeah.
No, she's not. She's just saying.
So anyway, the banners went up during Legion Week in September, and I believe they're going to remain there until after Remembrance Day. They are absolutely beautiful. We've had many good comments, also from people passing through. So we've got to get more banners made for next year. Anyway, the 10 people. Carter Cassidy, World War II Royal Canadian Air Force. Donald Fraser Chisholm, World War II Royal Canadian Navy. Simon Kernier, World War II Royal Canadian Army. Lyle Curtis, World War II Royal Canadian Army. If you don't know who Lyle Curtis is, because I didn't, he was in World War II, came home for 3 days, was driving along with friends along Metcalfe Street and was killed in a motor vehicle accident 3 days after coming home from World War II. Jack Foster, you all know Jack Foster, World War II Royal Canadian Army. Alma Holmes, World War II Royal Canadian Army. Wayne Holmes, Royal Canadian Air Force. Monica McLaughlin, World War II Royal Canadian Army. Tony Soike, UN Peacekeeping and NATO. Tony is our living veteran. And Ernest Cosmo Tufts, World War II Royal Canadian Army. And we will remember them. Thank you.
Could you also, Pat, introduce the video we're going to look at?
Oh, yes. Brock Kirby, when we were at the reception in Madoc, Brock showed a beautiful video, not even 5 minutes long. And I won't say anything about it because you'll see it now in a minute, but it was Brock Kirby that made this video. Thank you. The last few veterans that you saw on there were from Madoc, and their banners are hung on the streets of Madoc. Yes, because we're in with Madoc BIT for doing these banners. Okay. Oh, they have. I think, yes, I think they got 68 banners. And Tom DeLine would like to see them going all the way down to 62 to Belleville. Okay.
Sacrifice enough. Before you go, if somebody wants to help support this, can they could reach out to you and make a donation?
Oh, definitely.
Because there is going to be a cost for the brackets, like you say. So, I encourage everyone who is tuning in, and if you could spread the word that this is a wonderful cause. You saw the effort and the hard work of the individuals that are making it all happen, and it's a small way for us to show our appreciation. So, reach out to the Legion and make a donation to help them with the brackets.
Thank you.
Okay.
Would it be possible, those cards you have there,
Yes.
would it make sense to offer them for sale? Or would it cost too much it probably
Each-
costs a lot of money.
At the reception in Madoc, each family was given
Yeah,
3.
Yeah.
And I had orders afterwards from family members. So I ordered more of these cards and the families paid for them. This is just this extra set that I kept for the Legion. I gave 1 set down to the Heritage Centre,
Nice.
so they have it.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, that's good.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Okay. That's absolutely wonderful, eh? I mean, that video is so moving. And congratulations to Brock Kirby for pulling it all together. Okay, could I have a mover and a seconder to table the quarterly reports, please? Thank you, Councillor Palmetier, and thank you, Deputy Mayor Demarche. Any comments on those reports? Okay, seeing none. Be it resolved that council receive the report, the quarterly reports to council as presented. All in favor? Thank you. Could I have a mover and a seconder to review the loan conversion timing options, please? Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Thank you, Councillor Fleeler. We're going to turn it over to you, Gloria. I think they're expecting a big Bank of Canada rate increase, hopefully about 0.5 point. So.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say is that some investment sources just posted about an hour and a half ago that they're expecting tomorrow, the Bank of Canada, to make their announcement as to the new interest rate levels, which is expected to see significant drops, one of the largest drops since COVID. Obviously, we're waiting to see what will actually be announced. But if they do drop tomorrow, then the rates through Infrastructure Ontario will also correspondingly decrease as well. And as you can see, between a 1 week difference, I had referenced there that it dropped from a 4.65 to a 4.59. So every week it is changing still right now as they're waiting to see where Bank of Canada is going to establish their new rate. Once it's established, and probably it will likely stay stable for a little bit, and that will give us a better idea where the interest rates will be. So we could continue waiting another 3 months.
That would be
to
my
wait it
preference.
out, or I can bring another report at the next one after we see what Bank of Canada does this week.
I would prefer to wait 3 months because I think we're going to start to see dramatic declines in the interest rate. I think the economy is heading to maybe perhaps a recession. So we're going to start. And they're talking about now, they're afraid too that inflation is now going to be lower than what their target was. And that's going to get them really worried again. So my recommendation, or my preference, I should say, would be to wait for 3 months and then revisit this one more time. Any comments? Yes, please go ahead, Councilor
Just-
Palmetier.
I think I asked this last time, just a clarification, right now, what are we paying?
So right now we pay the 4.61%, which is the construction financing. So it's a little more than what the long-term one is, but it will also decrease as interest rates overall decrease. So construction, sometimes you pay a little more because they don't know when you're going to lock in. So right now we are paying 4.61, which is approximately 14 to 15,000 a month.
Thank you.
Okay. Go to the, sorry, I just want to close that, go back. So be it resolved that council receive the review of loan conversion timing options report is presented. And further that council directs staff to reassess the financial situation in 3 months' time as interest rates appear to still be lowering. Lori, you're just like radar on a MASH. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, all in favor? Thank you. Could I have move in a second to table the administration department update as of October 17th, 2024, please? Thank you, Deputy Mayor Demarche. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Any questions on said report? Okay, so I see that we've submitted our application for the Housing Enabling Core Services. This supposedly is a program which is geared to small rural municipalities, which is not going to be linked to housing. It's supposed to be to help with infrastructure. I know.
It still required a link to housing, which for us, because we were applying for Flinton Road and the 3 bridges that have been lowered to a 3-ton maximum, by replacing them, it will enable housing in the fact that we probably would be looking at denying any severances in those areas because we already have a servicing restriction and we wouldn't want to make that worse for individuals. And so we need to replace those in order to open the possibilities of severances back up in those regions. We don't have any that are currently active applications at the moment, but it is linked to a housing enabling from that standpoint. But it was one where we did have to still link it in some way to a housing development process.
So this is not the fund which the Ontario government has said will specifically for infrastructure projects that will not be linked to housing.
So in the training seminars that I took for this specific grant, they had indicated, they being the province, that the amount that was for that 120 million was added to this program.
Well, there was supposed to have been 120 million to help small rural communities with housing. That was supposed to be forthcoming by Minister Calandra had said that it would be shortly. And that was in May when I was at the OSIM conference. That never happened. Then they announced at AMO that they were going to be doing this other fund. Now, but it was not supposed to be linked to housing. And so our question was, is this going to be like 240 million available to small rural Ontario? Or no, they've taken the 120 million, like you said, and put it into a new program. But now they've added another caveat onto that it has to be linked to housing. It was not supposed to be linked to housing. Yes, Councillor Flaler.
Your worship, to add to the confusion, like this is an 810-page document, 40 hours
Mhm.
of time spent preparing this document. Like, I don't understand.
No.
I don't even start to understand why you would have an 810-page document.
You know, Bancroft has now hired a person that only does these because of the length of time and the effort that you have to put into these documents. How do they expect small rural Ontario to be able to do this? Bob Mullen had just said the other day, he's furious because all the time, the effort that goes in takes people away from the things that they really need to be doing for the municipality. Yes, go ahead.
Your worship, and the other side of the coin is if we hire somebody that's more tax
Oh,
dollars
yeah.
spent to try to get something that
Which
we
we're
should have
likely-
had anyway.
And you think of it in Hastings County, Bob, Jan, Paul Jenkins, like, all doing these applications, and none of us have been successful. None of us in Hastings County. So. Anyway. Okay, so, thank you for the effort that you put into that. I know it's an extremely difficult process. Is there another housing enabling water one coming up now too?
Yeah,
This is
so
another one.
the manager of public works and myself are scheduled to keep working on that one. So this one was due last week, so we had to complete the core services first. The water enabling one, which we are trying to apply again for the George Street, James Street area of getting water and sewer and storm drainage upgraded into that region. Is due, I think it was November. I can't remember the exact date. It's a date in November, but it is on our list for
To get
the
that
public
back,
works
yeah.
manager and myself to finalize any amendments to our previous application to try to be successful this time.
Okay, thank you. Be it resolved, any other questions? Be it resolved that council receive the administration department update as of October 17, 2024, as presented. All in favor? Thank you. Public Works Manager, could I table the request to purchase cold mix, please? Could I have a mover and a seconder to table that? Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. So it appears that we have run out and that there is a need to purchase more. And so, yes, please go ahead.
Through the mayor, my first thought, do we have any money left in the line painting budget? Like, could there not be just a lateral transfer?
I believe that we have not used the full line painting budget, so there will be a surplus in that account. I will have to confirm the exact dollar amount, but I believe he did indicate that we were below budget on that line item.
So there'll be a way to maybe tap into some funds where we might have a bit of a surplus to cover the cost of.
Yeah,
doing
and because
some-
it's in the same department, the surplus in the one account can offset the deficit in the other.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, be it resolved that council receive request to purchase cold mix report and further council direct staff to purchase 2 loads of cold mix material. All in favor? Okay, could I have a move and a seconder to table the speed reduction bylaw for consideration? Move and a seconder, please, Councillor Valiquette. Okay. And Councillor Fleeler, thank you. Okay, let's open that up for discussion. I see that there's 2 options here. Did you want to say anything first, Gloria, or no? Okay, no, go ahead. Go ahead, Jim. I mean, Councillor Fleeler.
Worship, I am bedazzled by this thing, to tell you the honest truth. We've had issues with speeding for a long time. We had a person present to council, now all of a sudden we've come up with this idea. I don't think putting signs all around the municipality is gonna stop anything, my opinion. I would like to see us try to get a program with the OPP where they come over here periodically and
Park themselves.
yeah, and do the radar thing and nail some guys. The only way you're gonna stop this is to nail some guys. We, in the list, I don't know how we can do this without having a public meeting or a townhouse meeting. I mean,
This is huge, yeah.
I think they'd run us out of town on a rail.
Yeah, well, there's many other things they want to run us out of town on a rail for.
But I can't, as much as I'd like to see this resolved, I don't think this is gonna do the thing.
Mhm.
We're gonna spend 65,000 tax dollars where we need 6 bridges. I think put the 65 into the bridges and let's get a program, work with the OPP to try to set up different times to try to nip this in the bud.
What's it cost for those cameras that Belleville has?
$1 million.
What was it?
But I don't know. I heard that. But I heard they made $1 million already.
Oh my God, we got nicked.
And I agree, like, I think we should invest in that myself.
Peter, Councilor Valiquette, there was also that camera thing too, that, can give us an indication of when things are happening. That one that we saw. Can you talk a little bit about that again?
Maybe I'll just kind of go back.
Oh, you guys, make sure your microphone's up when you talk. Okay. Just take Jim's for now. Jim can take it. Oh, there's one right there, Peter.
Oh, thanks. So just to build on what Councillor Fleury was saying, I'm really hesitant to kind of adopt any of these because there's no hard data and everything is just. I hate the anecdotal word, but it's somebody saying something that they feel or they think they saw or their neighbor said, which has some relevance, but it's not something hard enough that I personally want to start lowering speed limits through the municipality. To go to your point about so we've tried to have the OPB come over. I had some concerns on College Street, and for whatever reason, they don't seem to be able to execute that at any level at all, which is unfortunate. The mayor and I believe last time we were at Roma together, there's a company out of New Brunswick that sells a device that goes on top of a street light. So if you look on top of all of our LED street lights, there's a male connector. And this device just essentially sits on top of it, and they have different ones. Some do air quality, some do noise, some do traffic counts, some do speeding. And with the company, so there was a plan to meet with these people at some point in time, I believe in November. But kind of the Coles notes is I believe the device is $500. You put a SIM card in it, it's $300. All the data is automatically sent to them. They can compile statistics on what kind of traffic you're seeing, depending on what kind of device you put up there. So we would have more control over it, only being limited by the fact there needs to be a street light in the proximity. So you could use it in most of our hamlets, you could use it in the village, to get some hard data about what really we need to be doing. I sympathize with people who have kids and have a perception of what's going on, but that perception doesn't really equate into something that I'm prepared to reduce speed limits across the municipality. The one part I did find interesting in here that the manager alluded to was the fact that it may curb some grading and some additional work that Public Works may need to do to the road if everybody's going slower. But then back to what Councillor Fleury is saying, nobody's really going to go slower unless we have enforcement. So,
Okay, any other comments? Yes, please go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
Through the mayor, I agree with both Councillors Fleury and Valiquette, and the first thought that comes to my mind was it's one thing to put these bylaws in place, it's totally another to have them enforced, and unfortunately, we're not the ones enforcing it, it's COPP. I have had some surface level discussions with Staff Sergeant Trudeau about some of these issues we've received in the past, and I would encourage council to kind of write some notes down so when he comes, he can hear that because he wants to hear the feedback of what challenges we're facing. And I did mention about the speeding and we'd like to see an increased presence. My words were, I'd like to see them out of their cars once in a while and walking up the streets. Just an increased police presence, and he's very open to doing that. So anybody that's got any of that stuff, let's certainly let him hear it when he comes, and hopefully that we can get that done.
Okay, thank you. Be it resolved that council accept the speed reduction bylaw consideration report, and further that council not move on any, not enact either option 2A or 2B at this time. All in favor? Thank you. Bylaw enforcement. Could I have a mover to seconder for the to table the bylaw enforcement officer September 24 Tweed bylaw operations log report and the statement of revenue and expenditures as of September 30th, 2024, please. Mover and a seconder. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Marsh. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Any questions on said report? Seeing none, be it resolved that council receive the September 2024 Tweed bylaw operations log as presented. All in favor? Thank you. Policy review. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table the human resources policy, please? Mover and second. Thank you, Councillor Valiquette, and thank you, Deputy Mayor Demarche. Any comments on said report? Yes, please go ahead, Deputy Mayor Demarche.
Through the mayor, there's a lot to digest into this, and I personally would like to see a deferral on this just to give it some more thought. Because there was quite a bit of proposed changes, and I think that it requires some extra thought in some areas, and I would ask that maybe we could have that.
The rest of council? Yes. I
did make some notes.
I did too, but I mean, we can keep those for another time. Or you could just send them through for consideration.
If I could have the comments actually sent by email, then I can look at them and maybe have answers to be able to respond to them when it is brought back at a future council meeting.
Okay.
In case there's anything I might need to investigate.
Because it is only 10 pages.
Yeah, but it's pivotal.
Yeah.
It's very important.
And I found a lot to digest into, maybe like Councillor Valiquette says, there's a lot of very impactful things in there, so.
Yeah, also, okay. Let me go back here. Be it resolved, the council receive the policy review human resources policy report as presented, and further that decision on report be deferred to that's not which council meeting. Want the next one, or you want a little bit more time?
A little bit more would be good, maybe the.
Okay, the first meeting in December. All in favor? Thank you. Bylaws. Can I have a mover and a second to table bylaw number 2024-83, a bylaw to authorize the corporation municipality Tweed to enter into a commercial lease agreement with Bright Beginnings of Tweed and District. A mover and a seconder, please. Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Any questions on said bylaw? Seeing none, be it resolved that bylaw number 2024-83 be read a first, second, third, and final time, passed, signed, and sealed in open council this 22nd day of October 2024. All in favor? Thank you. Can I have a mover and a seconder to table bylaw number 2024-84, a bylaw to amend comprehensive zoning bylaw 2012-30 as amended, 571 Elsevier Road, Township of Elsevier. A mover and a seconder, please. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Marsh. Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Any questions on said bylaw? Seeing none, be it resolved that bylaw number 2024-84 be read a first, second, third, and final time, passed, signed, and sealed in open council this 22nd day of October 2024. All in favor? Thank you. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table bylaw number 2024-85, a bylaw to amend comprehensive zoning bylaw 2012-30 as amended, 1622 Vanderwater Road, Township of Hungerford. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Thank you, Councillor Fleeler. Any questions on said bylaw? Seeing none, be it resolved that bylaw number 2024-85 be read a first, second, third, and final time, passed, signed, and sealed in open council this 22nd day of October 2024. All in favor? Thank you. Could I have a mover and a second to table bylaw number 2024-86, a bylaw to amend comprehensive zoning bylaw 2012-30 as amended, French Settlement Road, Township of Hungerford. A mover and a seconder, please. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Demarche. Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Any questions on said bylaw? Be it resolved that bylaw number 2024-86 be read a first, second, third, and final time, passed, signed, and sealed in open council this 22nd day of October 2024. All in favor? Thank you. Items for consideration. Could I have someone table the note from Kendra Adema, Ministry of Citizen and Multiculturalism, Information Read 2025 Ontario Volunteer Service Awards and June Collingwood Ontario Outstanding Achievement Award for Volunteerism. I'm moving a seconder, please. Thank you, Councillor Valiquette, and thank you, Councillor Fleeler. Now, it is my understanding, I think the 2025 Volunteer of the Year Award, Volunteer Service Awards is a simple. That is the one where we could just put a name of the person with like a one-line thing about them, like, the organization they're with. So I think what's important is we have a lot of service groups in our community. that people would be recognized for their efforts for 5, 10, 15, 25, 30 years. Like we have the Lions Club, the Kiwanis Club, we have the Festival of Trees. There's a whole realm there. There's the Heritage Center. And I wonder if there's a way that we can get the application and everything, and then we, like, you know, send it out. Like I'll even undertake to do that. Send it out to the chairs of each of these committees and saying, we would encourage you to nominate your members, like, you know, for this particular award. They do them every year. I think they typically host it in Belleville. And it would be nice to see. I don't think we've really done it that much in this community. Yes, go ahead, Lori.
I know when I spoke with Cindy in community development that she has forwarded, I know at least to the hamlets, but I'm not sure what other community organizations she has included in that.
Okay, so she would then have probably the contacts for all of the organizations. I would like to see us send this to all of them and encouraging them to do that. Any comments?
Through the mayor, just not a lot of time to react, so not even time for public input, so.
I think
Yeah, so-
I don't think we would do it. Other than the June Colwood Outstanding Achievement, which is a rather detailed, very long initiative. And I think because we have some illness and stuff like that, I'm gonna, it doesn't mean we can let the public know about it, but I don't think the municipality would take the lead on it at this time because of the effort that has to go into this one. I believe that's the one that Elizabeth Churcher. Was that the one Elizabeth Churcher won, or was that the Governor General one?
The Ontario Senior of the Year
Oh,
Award.
and that took a lot. I mean, I don't have time because I'm going to be away, so I couldn't take the lead on that one. So shall we just go ahead with the Ontario Volunteer Service Awards at this point? We're okay with that? Okay.
I was just gonna make a suggestion. That there are a number of identifiable service groups that do things broadly for the community, but there's some other smaller groups or more tailored groups that have volunteers who've been doing things consistently over the years. And I think of Tweed Minor Hockey League, there's baseball and soccer. There's people who donate their time endlessly for, I'm thinking of someone for a quarter century at least. And they tend to get forgotten.
So who could we pass that on so that it's out? Is there a head of a? I wonder would Cindy,
Cindy would have all those names.
would she have those names, even though she's focusing more on economic development as opposed to?
She could probably obtain them.
Okay,
Yeah.
even working with Jay.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
you
sure
know.
she could.
Okay, I mean, everybody, like even community care for Central Hastings is like, you know,
Horticultural is another one, I think, or something.
all the drivers that do the Meals on Wheels and stuff.
So those groups may have somebody there again. Feel is word.
That's right, exactly. So if we could, and you know, from now on, let's flag that at our volunteer appreciation awards, that we reference that this is coming, okay? Like, you know, we'll know that it's coming because it is an annual event. Okay, that sounds good. Okay. Be it resolved, the council receive the information re 2025 Ontario Volunteer Service Awards and June Collingwood Outstanding Achievement Awards for Volunteerism, and further that council directs staff to contact all community groups, including those related to the sports programs within the community, to make people aware that we would encourage them to submit the names of individuals within the organization for this award. That's for the Ontario Volunteer Service Award. At this time, we will not pursue June Collingwood. Okay, all in favor? Thank you. Thomasburg Hall, can I have a move and a second to table the Thomas Hall and Beautification Committee report, please, of the minutes of September 30th, 2024. Thank you, Deputy Mayor DeMarche. Thank you, Councillor Valley-Cat. There are a number of things in this report. One about wanting to join merge the two committees, and I don't see that as a problem, especially when they're the ones that are making that request. There was also a comment, what's this about this petty cash float?
So I have explained to them through email that when they merge the two accounts, they will actually get the operating bank account, which will basically be like their petty cash where they can pay for the supplies that they need for the building, the cleaning supplies, pay for the individuals who come and cut the grass or do the cleaning. It would be transferred over to them for their signing authorities at this time because there was no hall committee and it was being managed by the municipality. That signing authority in the bank is being managed by our staff in-house.
Okay, and then in regards to increasing the rate, that would come through when we're looking at like increasing services in our budget review process.
So each hall committee is able to establish their own rental rates for the facilities. We don't actually put those in our
Okay.
bylaws. So if
So
it's
then-
approved for them to be one committee, then they can pass any amendments they feel are appropriate for
So
that.
then okay, so that's fine. Okay. So be it resolved that council receive the minutes of the September 30th, 2024 Thomasburg Hall and Beautification Committee as presented, and further that council approve the merger of the Thomasburg Hall Committee and Thomasburg Beautification Committee. And further that council authorize staff to bring forward a bylaw to amend the membership list for the Thomasburg Hall and Beautification Committee to review at the next council meeting. All in favor? Thank you. Okay, we are now going to go into closed meeting. Lori, at what time?
57.
Thank you. Oh, can I have a move in a second? Sorry about that. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Demarche. Thank you, Council Palmetier. All in favor? Thank you. Yes. Okay. A notice of closed meeting. Can I have a move and a seconder to table the notice of closed meeting and staff direction, please? Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. Thank you, Councillor Fleer. Be it resolved that staff follow council direction from the closed meeting. All in favor? Thank you. Correspondence information. Could I have a mover and a seconder to table the correspondence information, please? Thank you, Deputy Mayor DeMarche. Thank you, Councillor Fleeler. You will notice that we received our OSIF funding. This year, I believe we got 339,000. I think it was 9,000 more than we got last year. But from 2023 to 2024, we were reduced by about 51,000. So, I will send to you, because I asked Gloria to pull together what our neighbors got. And almost everybody's in the same boat again. But there have been a number of major reductions for some of our neighbors. I think maybe we got our major reduction last year. But again, like, you know, this is peanuts in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
And then the thing is when I reached out to both Sean Fraser and the Minister of Infrastructure at the federal level, and to Minister Surma and Minister Bethany about our infrastructure costs, they've all cited the fact that this OSIF money can be used for infrastructure costs, and we do not have to spend it in a particular year. We can bank it and then put it all together for 3 years. So we'd have like 900,000. But I don't think they actually realize that 900,000 wouldn't cover any of our projects. Like, you know, it's like, and that's holding off investments for 3 years. So but anyway, we're grateful we got it. But I mean, it's something that 444 municipalities all get us something out of this.
No, I believe it's 426
Okay,
or 423. The largest municipalities do not receive this.
that's because they receive everything else.
Yeah, so it 426 is what the province deems small rural
Oh, yeah,
Ontario.
small. And this is, is it 100,000? And
100,000 is the lowest you can go.
no, population wise, did I see?
I'm not actually sure what their population level is that makes that line. I hadn't actually looked at that info.
Anyway, it's frustrating, but at least we didn't go down further. Like last year, it was a 1% tax increase that represented. So, okay. Is there anything? I do think what is interesting for me is how the province was very concerned and angry with the federal government when the federal government took on the initiative to begin to direct funds for housing. Okay, that they had their own caveats that they wanted this to do it. And the province was extremely upset because you're infringing on our territory. But what I think is interesting is now the province is infringing on municipal territories when they are deciding who is and who isn't going to get bike lanes. And in fact, we're going to tell you to pull out your bike lanes. And yet they're infringing on municipal directives for that.
Today they did say they would pay for the removal of the bike lanes. The province, I know.
Still.
We're
Anyway,
spending more of the
it's so
money.
funny. It's just so funny. And then there's a Toronto Star article in there. And then there's also about the finance, the report that we got from OPP, the increase that we have to come up find the funds for. And then let me see. Nothing really. I see we have 3 more support letters for Councillor Valiquette's repatriation of the OPP, which when you think of the money they're spending, it's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
And it would be
Make a
huge for us, huge. When you think we're going to be at like 1,200,000 and was it 60,000, 70,000? Like, you know, that would be huge.
For everybody.
Yeah. Yes, go ahead, Councillor Baylor.
Your worship, this article here about the $200 payment per person. Is it legal for them to do that? Like Ernie Eve did it in 2000.
That's right, he did.
But
That's right.
was it legal then?
Well, I don't know, but they said Ernie, when he did it, they had money to do it. They had the surplus to do
Well,
it.
they got money now. They haven't given us any, so they got lots of money.
And I mean, they're gonna have to borrow this.
Yeah, so the other thing too, though, is that this license plate sticker thing, and I'm stuck on the sticker thing.
Bada boom, bada bing.
It cost the infrastructure Ontario $6 billion over 5 years.
Yeah.
We need that money.
Oh, yeah.
We do need the money. So here's another little, I don't know if I should keep going or not, but it just so
Oh,
disappointing.
yeah, yeah.
Just so disappointing.
Anybody else? Okay, let me go back up top here. Be it resolved that correspondence information be received and filed. All in favor? Thank you. Could I have a movement, a seconder to table the committee board reports, please? Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Thank you, Councillor Valiquette. We have a report there from Queensborough. Any comments? Seeing none. Be it resolved that council receive the committee board minutes as presented. All in favor? Thank you. Could I have a move and a seconder for the conformatory bylaw, please? Thank you, Councillor Palmetier. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Demarche. All in favor. Oh, be it resolved that conformatory bylaw number 2024-87 be read a first, second, and third and final time passed, signed, and sealed in open council this 22nd day of October 2024. All in favor. Thank you. Could I have a mover and a seconder to adjourn today's meeting? Too late. The meeting's done, buddy.
All right.
Okay, thank you very much, Councillor Palmetier, Deputy Mayor Demarche. Be it resolved that council adjourned at, Lori, 7:13. Thank you, everyone.